Have you ever stopped to think about how your space is suffocated by things you rarely use? What if I told you there was a proven method to transform your home from a cluttered space to an airy and peaceful space? Today, I'm going to reveal 10 foolproof tips that have helped thousands of people eliminate clutter and regain control over their homes. The truth is, we live in a society that constantly encourages us to buy more, save more, and accumulate more. The result? Homes full of objects that we don't use, don't need, and that secretly stress us out every day. In the next few minutes, I'm going to share practical strategies that will help you identify what really matters and get rid of the rest without feeling guilty. Pay close attention to tip number 6, because it alone can triple the amount of space available in your closets. While many people spend years trying to organize their things, buying more and more storage solutions, you're going to learn how to tackle the problem at its root. If you're tired of feeling like your home is always messy even after you tidy up, feel overwhelmed by too much stuff, or simply want to breathe in a more spacious environment, this video will change your life. Let's start with the first tip. Tip 1, the 90-day rule. One of the most common reasons for hoarding is our tendency to keep things just in case we need them someday. The 90-day rule directly challenges this mindset and provides a clear guideline for deciding what really deserves to take up space in your home. This rule is simple but powerful. If you haven't used an item in the last 90 days and won't use it in the next 90 days, it's time to seriously consider whether you need to keep it. 90 days, or roughly 3 months, is a long enough period to span an entire season. This means you've had ample opportunity to use the item in a variety of circumstances. If it's still sitting forgotten in the back of a drawer or closet, that's a strong indication that your life is going well without it. To apply this rule, start by selecting an area of your home, such as a specific closet or drawer. Look at each item and ask yourself, have I used this in the last 3 months? If the answer is no, ask yourself the second question, will I use this in the next 3 months? If the answer is no, then put the item in a box for donation or sale. Of course, there are reasonable exceptions to this rule. Seasonal items like holiday decorations, seasonal gear, or important documents should be evaluated using different criteria. But for the vast majority of our belongings, the 90-day rule is extremely effective. What makes this rule so powerful is that it replaces emotional decisions with objective criteria. Instead of getting stuck thinking, but I might need that someday, or, but it cost me too much, you have a clear, rational guideline. Consistently applying this rule can dramatically reduce the clutter in your home, freeing up both physical and mental space. Many people report an immediate sense of relief when they let go of items they haven't used in months or years. Tip 2, the sealed box method. One of the biggest challenges in the process of letting go is the fear of regret later. The sealed box method was developed specifically to solve this problem, allowing you to test out the absence of items before making a final decision. It is a safe approach for those who have difficulty getting rid of things. To implement this method, you will need some sturdy boxes and some tape. Select the items that you are considering getting rid of but still have doubts about. Place them in the boxes. Write down the contents on a piece of paper that goes on the outside and seal the boxes completely with tape. Also write the current date on the box. Now store these sealed boxes in a less accessible place in your home, such as an attic, garage, or upper part of a closet. Set a time period, usually 6 months, during which these boxes will remain sealed. The crucial part of this method is the commitment not to open the boxes during this period, unless you really need something specific that is inside them. When the allotted time period is up, you have 2 options. If you haven't had to open the box and don't even remember what was inside, this is a clear sign that these items can be donated or sold without opening the box. On the other hand, if during this time you felt a need for a specific item and had to open the box to retrieve it, this confirms that that particular item does indeed have a use in your life. The power of this method is that it transforms an abstract, emotional decision into a concrete experience. You are no longer imagining what it would be like to live without those items. you are experiencing it in a controlled way. Many people are surprised to discover that they have gone 6 whole months without missing any of the items in the sealed boxes. This revelation makes it much easier to part with these items with confidence and without guilt. The sealed box method is especially useful for sentimental items or those that provoke the thought, what if I need this one day? Tip 3. The defined space strategy. One of the biggest drivers of hoarding is a lack of clear boundaries for our possessions. Without a system in place to control the volume of what we keep, we tend to fill whatever space we have available. The defined space strategy sets these boundaries in a concrete and practical way, creating a sustainable system that prevents hoarding from returning. The core principle of this strategy is that each category of items in your home is only allowed a predefined space, and when that space is full, something has to go before something new can come in. To implement this strategy, start by identifying all the categories of items that you regularly keep: clothes, books, kitchenware, beauty products, tools, electronics, home decor, toys, and so on. For each category, designate a specific and limited space. For example, your books will only occupy that specific shelf, no more. Your clothes will only be allowed in that closet and those drawers. Your beauty products will be restricted to that drawer in the bathroom. Once you've established these boundaries, you need to make a firm commitment. Once the space allocated to a category is full, you can only add something new if you remove something existing. Are your books taking up the entire shelf and you want to buy a new one? Then you need to choose one to donate or sell. Is your closet full of clothes and you saw a new blouse that you love? Then you need to get rid of an old piece to make room. The power of this strategy is that it creates ongoing awareness of your consumption and ownership choices. You begin to evaluate each new acquisition not only for its intrinsic value, but also for the cost of the space it will take up. This naturally leads to more thoughtful and conscious decisions. Plus, by establishing clear physical boundaries, you eliminate the temptation to just cram one more thing into that already overcrowded closet. The result is a system of managing your belongings that remains sustainable in the long run, preventing the gradual return of accumulation. Between the tip I just shared and the next one, I want to make a special request. If this content is being useful to you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell to receive notifications of new videos like this one. I would also love to know where you are watching from, so leave your location in the comments. Your participation is very important for us to continue bringing you quality content like this. Now let's continue with more incredible tricks to end the accumulation in your home. Tip 4. The total categorization method. One of the most common reasons for hoarding is having similar items scattered throughout the house, which prevents us from getting a clear sense of how much we actually have. The total categorization method solves this problem by gathering all of the items in a single category in one place, creating a powerful visual impact that makes it easier to decide to let go. To apply this method, choose a specific category of items to work on, such as clothes, books, tools, or beauty products. Instead of tackling one room or area at a time, as many organizing methods do, you will gather absolutely all of the items in this category that are scattered throughout the house, regardless of where they are stored. For example, if you choose to work on clothes, you should gather not only what is in your main closet, but also items that may be in suitcases, in the laundry basket, in other people's closets, in storage boxes, or stored for another season. Spread all of these items out on a large surface, such as a bed or the living room floor. This step is crucial because it creates a visual impact that is impossible to ignore. Many people are genuinely shocked to see how many items they actually own when they are all together. Seeing the total volume makes it much easier to spot duplicates, rarely used items, or things you didn't even remember you had. Now, with everything visible, examine each item individually and make an informed decision. Keep, donate, sell, or discard. Be honest about what you actually use and love. The power of this method is that it confronts you with the full reality of your possessions. When you see that you have 20 very similar black t-shirts, 15 pairs of shoes, or a huge collection of tools that you rarely use, it becomes much clearer what is truly necessary and what is excess. This method also helps you identify spending patterns that may be contributing to hoarding. Once you've sorted out what you're keeping, organize those items in a logical and accessible way, keeping things in the same category together whenever possible. Not only does this free up space, it also makes it easier to find what you need when you need it. Tip 5. The 3. Question technique. Oftentimes, what keeps us from letting go of excess stuff is the emotional justifications we create for keeping things we don't use. The 3 questions technique offers a simple but powerful framework for cutting through these rationalizations and making objective decisions about what really deserves to take up space in your life. This technique involves asking 3 specific questions for each item you're evaluating. Question 1. Does this item enhance my current life in some tangible way? Note the focus on your current life, not on hypothetical future scenarios. If the item isn't contributing positively to your current reality, that's a red flag. Question 2. If I saw this item in a store today, for the price I originally paid for it, would I buy it again? This brilliant question cuts through the sunk cost fallacy, which makes us keep things just because we invested money in them in the past. If you wouldn't choose to invest the same amount of money in that item today, why continue to invest your valuable space in it? Question 3. If this item disappeared today, would I really miss it or need to replace it? This last question directly addresses the item's true value to you. Truly important items would be missed and likely replaced. To apply this technique, take each item under consideration and ask yourself these 3 questions honestly. If the answer is no to any of them, that's a strong indication that the item can be removed from your home. If the answer is no to 2 or all 3, the decision becomes even clearer. The power of this technique lies in its ability to neutralize the excuses that often prevent us from letting go. But it was expensive, but someone gave it to me, but I might need it someday. All of these excuses are directly challenged by these 3 questions. In addition to helping with the immediate process of letting go, these questions can also be applied at the time of purchase to prevent future hoarding. Before you buy anything new, ask yourself these same 3 questions and see if the item really deserves to enter your home from the start. Tip 6. The seasonal rotation system. One of the biggest challenges in keeping our spaces clutter-free is that our needs vary throughout the year. Seasonal items like winter clothing, summer gear, or holiday decorations are needed only at specific times, but tend to take up valuable space year-round. The seasonal rotation system solves this problem in an elegant way, freeing up significant space in your closets and more accessible storage areas. This system involves dividing your belongings into seasonal categories and keeping only the items relevant to the current season available. Out-of-season items are stored in less accessible areas until their season arrives. To implement this system, start by identifying which of your belongings are truly seasonal. Clothing is the most obvious example. Heavy coats, boots, and sweaters in the winter, shorts, tank tops, and swimsuits in the summer. But the concept extends to many other categories: sports equipment, home decor, certain types of footwear, accessories, and even certain kitchen items that you use more at certain times of the year. Once you've identified your seasonal items, separate them by season. Create 4 categories: spring, summer, fall, and winter. Some items may belong to more than one season, and that's perfectly normal. The important thing is to clearly identify what you won't need for long periods of time. Now get suitable storage containers, ideally transparent and labeled by season. Store out-of-season items in less central areas of your home, such as the tops of closets, under beds, in the attic, or in the garage. Set specific dates to rotate, usually at the beginning of each season. On these dates, dedicate a few hours to putting away the items from the outgoing season and bringing the items from the incoming season to the front. The immediate benefit of this system is that it frees up significant space in your closets and primary storage areas. Instead of trying to fit the entire year's worth of clothes into your closet, You only keep what's relevant for the next 3 months. Not only does this create more space, but it also makes it much easier to find and access the things you really need right now. An added benefit is that this regular rotation process creates natural opportunities to reevaluate your belongings. With each season transition, you can review items and identify what wasn't used last season, making it easier to let go. Tip 7. The one-by-one strategy. One of the most common reasons for hoarding is the constant imbalance between what comes in and what goes out of our homes. We buy, get, and acquire new items regularly, but we rarely remove them in the same proportion. The one-for-one strategy establishes a simple but powerful principle for maintaining this balance. For every new item that comes into your home, a similar item must go out. This rule creates a sustainable system that prevents the gradual accumulation that occurs over time. To implement this strategy, start by establishing it as a firm rule for yourself and, if applicable, your family. Every time you acquire something new, whether it's a purchase, a gift, or any other form of acquisition, immediately identify an item in the same category that will be leaving your home. Did you buy a new shirt? An old shirt should be donated or discarded. Did you buy a new kitchen appliance? An existing appliance needs to find a new home. Did you get a book? It's time to pass on one of your current books. Ideally, you should do this exchange immediately, the same day the new item comes into your home. This prevents gradual accumulation and procrastination in the decision to let go. Keep a dedicated box or bag for items that are on the way out, located in a convenient place like a closet near the door or in the garage. Once this box is full, take it to be donated. For more valuable items that you would rather sell, set regular dates like once a month to list these items online or take them to thrift stores. This strategy is particularly effective because it doesn't require you to completely stop acquiring new things. It acknowledges the natural desire to renew and update, but sets a sustainable limit that prevents hoarding. Over time, this practice creates a greater awareness of the true value of each new acquisition. You begin to ask yourself, is this new item worth enough to justify parting with something I already have? This reflection often leads to more conscious purchasing decisions and a reduction in impulsive buying. Tip 8. The 4-container method. When we start a decluttering and organizing project, we often feel paralyzed by not knowing exactly how to proceed with each item. The 4-bin method provides a clear and efficient framework for making quick decisions about each item in your home, significantly speeding up the decluttering process. To implement this method, you will need 4 large bins, which can be cardboard boxes, baskets, or sturdy bags. Each bin will have a specific designation. Bin 1. Keep. For items that you definitely want to keep because they are used regularly, bring you genuine joy, or are truly necessary. Bin 2. Donate sell. For items in good condition that someone else could use, but no longer fit your current needs or lifestyle. Bin 3. Discard. For damaged, broken, incomplete, or worn-out items that cannot be donated or sold. Bin 4. Decide later. For items that you are genuinely undecided about and need more time to consider. To use this method, select an area to work on, such as a drawer, closet, or bookshelf. Remove all of the items from the chosen space, and one by one, place them into one of the 4 containers. The key is to make quick decisions and trust your first instinct. Spend no more than a few seconds deciding on each item. It's important to keep the decide later container small and limit the number of items that go into it. This is not a place to avoid difficult decisions, but rather for those few items that genuinely deserve more thought. Once all of the items in the chosen area have been distributed into the containers, process each one as follows. Empty the keep container back into the newly freed space, arranging the items in a logical and accessible manner. Immediately take the discard container to the trash or recycling bin. Place the donate sell container in your car to take to a charity at the next opportunity, or take photos to list the items for sale online today. As for the decide later bucket, Place it in a visible location with a reminder to check back in a week. This prevents these items from falling into disuse and becoming a new clutter. The power of this method is in its clarity and the way it breaks down a potentially overwhelming process into manageable steps and simple binary decisions. Plus, seeing the buckets fill up gives you immediate visual feedback on your progress, which can be incredibly motivating. Before I move on to the next tip, I want to tell you about something special I prepared for those who want to go beyond this video. It's a complete guide with organization secrets that completely transformed my home and can transform yours too. The link is in the pinned comment, and for a limited time, I'm offering a special discount for channel subscribers. Now let's continue with the next tips, which are some of my favorites. Tip 9. The Souvenir photo technique. One of the biggest obstacles to letting go of clutter is sentimental items. Objects that hold significant emotional memories but have no practical use in the present take up valuable physical and mental space. The keepsake photo technique offers a compassionate solution to this dilemma, allowing you to preserve the memory without keeping the physical object. This technique recognizes that more often than not, it is the memory associated with the item that we value, not the item itself. To implement this technique, separate sentimental items that take up space but are rarely or never used. These might include souvenirs from travels, old school work, gifts from loved ones, clothes that no longer fit but have emotional value, or inherited items that don't fit with your current lifestyle or decor. Set up a well-lit space and a camera. A cell phone works perfectly to photograph each item. Take several photos from different angles, capturing all the details that make the item special to you. If the item has a story associated with it, record a short audio or write down that story to accompany the photo. Organize these photos and stories into a digital or physical album, or create a document specifically for this purpose. You can also create a special folder on your computer or cloud to store these digital memories. Now comes the most challenging but also most liberating part. With the memory preserved digitally, allow yourself to donate, sell, or dispose of the physical object, knowing that the essence of what made it special, the memory, is safely preserved. For particularly meaningful items, consider passing them on to someone who will truly use and appreciate them, such as a family member or close friend. This can bring the added satisfaction of knowing that the item continues to be valued. The power of this technique is in recognizing that our homes do not have to be museums of our past lives. By separating the emotional value from the physical object, we create space both in our homes and in our minds. Digital memories take up essentially zero physical space, are easy to share with others, and do not collect dust or require maintenance like physical objects. This approach is particularly valuable for people who are downsizing their homes, moving frequently, or simply seeking a more minimalist lifestyle without sacrificing connections to their past. Tip 10. The Zero Accumulation Zone system. Even with the best intentions and organization systems, certain areas of the home tend to quickly accumulate clutter. These are the notorious clutter zones. The entryway table where mail piles up, the bedroom chair that becomes a storage area for clothes, or the kitchen counter that attracts all sorts of objects. The Zero Clutter Zone system is a strategic approach to identifying and neutralizing these problem areas by creating customized solutions that tackle clutter at its root. To implement this system, start by identifying all the clutter zones in your home. These are areas that consistently accumulate clutter even after you've organized them. Observe these areas for a week, noting exactly what types of items tend to accumulate there and how often they do so. This analysis is crucial to understanding the root cause of the problem. For each clutter zone you identify, ask yourself 3 key questions. Why do items end up in this specific location? Where would be the ideal place for these items? What system can you create to facilitate the flow of these items to their proper destination? Based on your answers, develop a customized solution for each zone. For example, if mail is piling up on your entryway table, install a vertical filing system there. with dividers for different types of documents and a specific section for items that require action. If clothes are piling up on a chair in your bedroom, consider installing hooks on the nearby wall or replacing the chair with a small trunk where clothes can be temporarily stored in a more organized manner. Establish a regular routine for processing each clutter zone, ideally daily, but at least twice a week. These routines should be short and specific. For example, after dinner, I spend 5 minutes processing the kitchen counter, returning each item to its designated place. The most powerful aspect of this system is that it doesn't try to fight your natural habits, but rather works with them. Instead of constantly berating yourself for leaving items in the wrong places, you create systems that recognize your behavioral patterns and adapt them in constructive ways. Over time, these clutter zones will stop being sources of frustration and become efficient transition stations that keep things flowing smoothly in your home. In addition to freeing up physical space, this system significantly reduces the mental stress associated with chronic disorganization and eliminates the feeling of constantly chasing the clutter without ever reaching it. We've reached the end of this journey through 10 powerful strategies for decluttering and freeing up space in your home. I hope you found inspiration and practical ideas that you can start implementing right away. Remember, the decluttering process doesn't have to happen overnight. The important thing is to get started and stay consistent. Start small and gradually expand as you gain confidence and momentum. Each item you remove creates not only physical space, but also mental space. Many people report feeling immense relief, as if a weight has literally been lifted from their shoulders after getting rid of excess. Think for a moment about what your life would be like in an environment where every item has a clear purpose or brings you genuine joy. Imagine the peace of mind of walking into a home where your eyes can rest, rather than being bombarded with visual stimuli and reminders of unfinished tasks. Imagine the freedom of easily finding what you need when you need it, without frustration or endless searching. All of this is possible when you free yourself from unnecessary clutter. I want to challenge you to choose just one of the techniques we discussed today and apply it to a small area of your home this week. It could be a drawer, a shelf, or even a surface. Give it a try and see how you feel afterward. This first step could be the beginning of a complete transformation of your space and ultimately your life. Which technique will you try first? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll share our experiences and results. Remember, the goal isn't to create a magazine-worthy perfect home, but rather a space that supports your life, your needs, and your dreams. See you in the next video.